Hi friends and family, welcome to You Plug. Welcome to this channel that keeps you plugged into real relationship content and discovering that via the Christian lens and seeking to understand God's design for relationships in our day and in our time. And we hope that you'll find this valuable. But without going further into this yet, my name is Mac. I'm the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. I'm a child of the Most High God, blessed and highly favored, a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a nation belonging to God, to declare the praises of Him who has called me out of singleness into the beautiful world of relationships. And please, if you have not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And if you're single, once you hit that subscribe button, you'll see miracles starting to happen right in your life. And I speak it, receive it right now. And as always, I'm not alone.
Yes, nagi opa wa garamalegan. Gumnar nom sudo ga drafas. Wa shadro ga tagas. Gingi den ga mazul ga mulum na tutursa. Gi go bla burta batur. Moru mutul ko madsan. Buddha komo. To and as Mac has already welcomed you, friends and family, welcome to You Plug. We continue to challenge those existing relationship narratives while we negotiate alternatives, and we are so happy to do it right here with you as we journey along. We come a long way. We have about 150 episodes, if I'm not mistaken, Mac. Somewhere around 150 episodes. So this is not the first one. So if you are here for the first time, please, you are more than welcome to check on our previous episodes. And we are here today, and we have our friends, the friend of this channel, the grandfather of this channel, and all of those things. You know, we always have Rev Errol here, and we are always delighted to have you, Rev. We do have a proverb, an African proverb that says, an old man sitting sees further than a young man standing. So we come to for these conversations, and we always appreciate your wealth of wisdom and guidance as far as relationships are concerned. So welcome, Rev.
Thank you. Thank you, and it's good to be here once again to join these young guys, and so I can feel young again, you know. But then they remind me I'm old. I'm a guy who sit with the wisdom. So you know, I'm good. But no, it's good to be here, and again to the viewers, this is a good place to be. You know, following this channel, you gain a lot of wisdom about life and, as I say, relationship, and discovering that there is a healthy way in which you can grow and develop relationships with spouses, with significant others, and coping with life journeys. So I'm honored to be with these guys, to be partnering with them, to sharing some of this wisdom that we know that is true because God says so.
Yeah, sure. And we're happy to have you here. Yes. We've reached out to some of the friends of this channel, some people who engage this content, especially on the current relationship topic on infertility, or marriage and children in marriage, or lack thereof, and we want to continue to understand this, and some people have contributed significantly, and today we will be engaging some of that. Today will be a Q&A. Will be a Q&A session.
Sure.
And we will dive into some practical questions that were asked. I know last week we ended by saying life is hard.
Yes.
And we want to kind of find those tools as we hopefully as we respond to this Q&A session. We will be giving some of those tools on how to cope with this. So let's just get into it, Rev.
Okay.
One of the questions we have received is for those who are married and have been trying their on their journey, how do they support one another? How do couples support one another?
Okay. No, that's a good question, and so let me just set a foundation for these questions, so we would know. When I say things, I want you to come back to the foundation that we're starting on here.
Sure.
I think we need to understand that we're talking about a very emotional issue here, and we are all emotional beings, but we experience emotion differently, based on our background and and what we are coming with. So we have different needs. We experience things differently. So there is no one size fit all. And we even answering this first question you ask or the other question. So I want you to hear when I'm given an answer, I'm not saying this is what works for everyone.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to challenge you to do is to kind of figure out what works for me.
Yeah.
You know, what do I want? What do I need? So that you get the sense that we're not saying that this issue is if you follow these 5 steps, you
will
would be
fine,
okay.
yeah.
All right, because this is more than just knowledge. This is learning to manage this emotionally as well.
Yeah.
Because we are human and we have to address that as well.
Yeah.
So that's my foundation there. So don't take it to say I'm saying this works for everyone, but I want you to hear me and say where does this relate to me?
Yeah.
So in terms of how spouse support each other, well, this comes back to just what I'm saying here. What are your needs?
Yeah.
Because you see, when I try to help out of what I think I need.
Okay.
See, I mean, think about it. When you try to help someone, you know, you think that's what I will need, so I want to give them that.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily what they want.
Sure.
So the first step in how we support each other is we ought to know what each other's needs are. You know,
Okay.
I need you to just be close to me. That's what I need you to do. You know, or I need you to just go and, you know, to just make sure this is done.
Yeah.
So we need to establish what are our needs, because people at times do things for us thinking they're helping us because that's how they understand meeting needs, because that's what they will want for themselves. But that is completely missing the mark of the need that you have.
Yeah.
So as couple, don't assume this is what your wife needs, this is what your husband needs in a time like this. Is to be able to have these really vulnerable conversations and say, this is tough for us right now. Well, what do you need? How do you need me to show up to help you in a time like this? And that answer will be different from my wife to your wife to your wife, because different people.
Yeah.
That answer for me will be different for me as for you as for you. So we need to start there rather than assuming we think this is what the person needs.
Sure.
We need to ask them, and you need to be able to say, this is what I need.
Oh, wow.
I think that's a mouthful, especially your. I mean, I can relate to that, helping somebody from where you are from and not necessarily where they're at. I always just can't help but think of how we are now a society that really, because of our consumption on social media, we respond in our relationships in the way that we see it reflected there, because this is how they respond to their partner and their partner smile. Therefore, it's a copy and
paste.
and paste.
Yes.
So
Yes.
in supporting, I can see how I have seen how it worked on a movie, on TV, on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I want to take that and come and apply it here, whereas it's not what my partner really needs.
Yeah.
So is it guaranteed that if you do probe, then your partner will say, this is what I need?
Okay, yeah, and let me just comment on the social media thing. I think that's a very good observation.
Yeah.
In terms of social media has created an artificial approach to relationship.
Okay.
See, and so we see all these things in social media and we think that'll work for us.
Yeah.
Relationship is hard work,
Yeah.
and you have to invest in it. And what you put in it, you're going to get out of it. You know.
Okay.
So looking at social media and thinking this works for that one, that worked for me, has been really a corrupting of what it is to have healthy relationships. Because what we see on social media is usually a very small snippet of somebody's having a good time, but you are not seeing all of the things that's happening behind.
Yeah.
And when you experience the things that's happening behind, you think something is wrong with you. So that's just the social media thing.
Sure.
No, there's no guarantee that your spouse will actually tell you, but I think it is how we build a relationship. If my spouse senses I really care, that I really want to help, that I'm tuning in, I'm not just so here's what
just ticking the box.
right, because here's one other thing. When my wife is uncomfortable, I could respond to want to help my wife to feel comfortable, not because I really want her to be comfortable. I am just tired of being uncomfortable with her being in that space.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay? So if I know my wife is fine, I'm fine. Okay?
Yeah.
If she's not fine, I want to make sure she's fine, but not for her as it is, so I wouldn't have to worry that she's not fine.
Yeah.
Okay? And we do that all the time. Okay? We want to fix problems quickly because it makes us uncomfortable.
Okay.
So the process here in terms of providing support for each other, is you have to be able to sit in the discomfort
Yeah.
of your spouse discomfort and say, let's talk about this. How can I help? You know, and some of us, we were raised, I am one of those, we were raised not to ask for help.
Okay.
So we don't even know how to ask for help. We don't even know to say I need this. We think to say I need this is weakness. It's helplessness. It's, you know. So that we have to deal with that psychology, you know, the psyche of that part of it. I have to be able to humble myself and recognize I need help here. As a
Yeah.
man, I'm struggling. My wife and I've been trying to have, you know, a child for however long. We in debt, and now we're struggling, and the family's asking us when we're going to have children, and you have all these emotions going on. How do I show up to say to my wife, really right now I'm struggling,
Yeah.
you know, and I just need for us to just get away for a couple of days and just be alone and not hear anybody telling us anything. That's all I need right now. So there's a whole lot behind it before you can really think your spouse is going to tell you, this is what I need, based on how your spouse were taught to express their need, not as weakness but as being authentic. We all need support. Yeah.
And I mean, I can't help also but think of the comment that you make, that we, for the most part, we always offer help from where we find ourselves, not necessarily from what the other person need. And most of the time, I think if we continue to act from that point, it can even be the very source of division
Yes.
in a relationship, where the other party who is going through tough time will accuse you for not understanding.
Yes.
You are not understanding, and therefore close that door of communication completely, and
Yeah.
and just struggle
Yes.
continuously
Yes.
because you don't understand. So
Yes.
I think that's a very good point that you are raising, that our desire to help should be on the terms of the other person,
Yes.
not on our own,
Yes.
not on our own terms, because most of the times also you see that when we do on our own, and then we end up throwing toys everywhere. I'm trying my best to help and doing this, I'm doing that, but
doesn't know what she wants.
she doesn't know what she wants, or he doesn't know what he wants.
Yeah.
Because you are
Yes.
okay. I thank you for that. I think that's very that's one needs to really sit with that
Yes.
and
Yeah.
allow that to sink and provide help from that context as well. Yeah. Thank you for that. Here's the second question, right?
Okay.
We are, especially in South Africa, I don't know if it's the same in America, in other places, in other contexts that you have been exposed to, but locally, baby showers are a big thing, are a huge thing.
Okay.
You know, yeah, literally, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
It's just it's a big celebration, a big event. You know, go to a posh location and all of those things, because it's just a big thing that is being celebrated. Yeah. So how, in terms of that, to someone who is struggling with this, or not maybe struggling, or is in this space, or in their life, you know, where they're dealing with this deep emotional issue, how should they respond to invitations like that,
Okay. So
to a baby shower?
keeping my foundation in mind, okay,
Yeah.
what I said earlier, okay.
Yeah.
I just try to figure out, I just ask myself, how many people you need to give a baby a shower? I mean, it's a baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know,
Sure.
on a serious note here, this is really about you and not the baby shower.
Yeah.
Okay, this is about you. You have to ask yourself the question: am I in a place emotionally where I could show up at this event and not be sad and be angry and feel less than? You know, we talked about last week, you know, who your sense of as a person and your purpose. So you have to be able to know if you can show up there in a healthy way.
Sure.
And not just showing up there because people expect you to, you know, because you show up at somebody's baby shower where you're not wanting to be there, and you ruin the mood for everybody else because you having to deal with your pain of not being in a good space. You know, so it comes back to you, and I say this: you need to decide whether this is a space you're going to feel comfortable being. And excuse me, maybe right now you don't, So you have to say no.
Yeah.
You could still send your gift. You could still, and just say, I'm in a space right now where I don't feel I can deal with that.
Yeah.
But still give your gift and do what you need to do. But don't show up there not being in a good space to ruin somebody else's celebration of their baby because it's a struggle for you. You need to own that and say, I just can't do that.
Yeah.
That is how you need to approach this, And I know there's all of the pressure from the people, and they expect you. And if it's your sister, and why you're not coming and all that, But you have to own your space.
Yeah.
You have to own your space and say, right now this is difficult for us.
Sure.
But the other side of this is, you can't go on like this for years and making everybody miserable and not. You need to deal with this where you come into terms with this is a reality in our lives at this point as a couple. And we need to deal with this in a way that we don't just spill it on everybody else. Everybody we are around has to, have to feel what we're feeling, or we have to ruin their moment because we are in a moment because we're not happy.
Yeah.
So it's you taking responsibility and ownership for how you choose to show up where you invited, in terms of being able to show up there and not ruin somebody else's celebration because of where you are emotionally. Dealing with the pain.
Yeah, sure. I like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, the idea of, I know when we spoke some time ago out of this, you spoke about, as part of owning your space, be able to say, I'm unable to, without the need of explaining.
Yes.
And over explaining yourself.
Yes.
And stuff like that. Just being authentic with where you find yourself and be able to communicate when you are not able to.
Yeah. Because it's not healthy for you if you go to this event under pressure from your parents, because it's your sister, and all you end up doing is becoming more angry at your family. You see, that's not serving anybody's. That's not building any relationship. That's not building anything healthy for anybody. Okay, it's better you stay away because you can't deal with it, and you and your sister and your mother figure this out as you talk about it, and all the other friends and family who they have to see you there, and everybody can't understand why you're this way. So what I'm trying to say to you, don't bury your pain to look as though everything is okay.
Sure.
You need to live into where you are and say, this is where things are right now, this is how I need to deal with it right now.
Sure.
I want to perhaps probe into this a bit. I think, I'm trying to look at it from a person who's also sending, an invite that perhaps they may have overcome some hurdles to eventually send that invite, of being like, will I come across as insensitive knowing what this person what this person is going through?
Right.
Would I be seen as that? And perhaps the recipient, seeing that effort, may feel also like, I don't know, maybe I'm just going too much into people's heads, or perhaps where I'd be coming from, but the recipient feeling like they're obliged because they have to show up. And I think, like you talked briefly about it just a few minutes ago, talking about we don't know how to cry for help, and sometimes we also feel like we just always have to show up strong in this culture again, where it's like, woman, show up, you are you're the head and you're not the tail. You are more than a conqueror through Christ, especially in this Christian space where we don't really get to own and I'll say own the pain that we're in.
Yeah, and so the person who's sending this invitation actually caught in both directions. If I send it, it might offend the person. If I don't send it, it might offend the person. Okay? So you can't own that space where the person is at. Okay? And it's the person who is receiving the invitation have to own the space. Now the person can't, they might say, well, this person is insensitive, they know this, well, they can't own that space because they don't know if they didn't send it, you'll get upset and say, they had a baby shower and they didn't invite me.
Yeah.
Okay? And then, how could you send me an invitation to baby shower? So the person who is sending the invitation is really not the person who has to own that response. It has to be you to be able to say, I'm not in a good space right now to attend your baby shower. And so, but I send my gift or whatever. But we have to remember, and even the person who sent it, if the person who receives it gets upset, then apologizing and saying, I'm really sorry, I didn't know that's where you were, I didn't know that you were, that this means as much to you, and I'm really sorry that I sent that to you, and I didn't mean that, and which obviously they didn't mean that, and they own that space. And then you have to be able to recognize that they're acknowledging them, they weren't aware of the impact, and they're owning that, and so they're asking you forgiveness and be able to move on with the relationship. But what I'm getting at is, if everything that happens adds upon this pain for you, and it just becomes heavier and heavier and heavier with everything somebody say or didn't say, or how they respond to you or didn't respond to you, that is telling me that you're not dealing with it in a healthy way. You are laying blame at other people for their sometimes innocent response to you, that they don't even realize the impact it's having on you.
Sure. So how should the family and friends then support this couple?
This couple, okay. So we come back to the same earlier question about the couple supporting each other.
Yeah.
People are going to try to help you from how they know they need help.
Okay.
So how could family help you? Okay. Family have to know where you need help. Friends have to know where you need help, because someone might think, coming and helping you clean house might be a good thing. So because and then you're offended because that's your house. You don't want them to come and help you clean house. It make you feel as though something's wrong with you. Okay. So again, for family and friends to be effective in how to help, they need to know what you need. Because what they will think you need is what they want to give, because that's what they need, and they think you will need it. So again, for family and friends to help, they need to know what you need. Sometimes you need, just say, we need space. We just need not to be bothered for the next couple of days. If you tell them that, then they'll give you that. But if you don't tell them that and they show up at your house, can we do this, can you do that, you're getting mad at them because they're trying to do what you don't want at the moment. So to the first one, it's the same thing here. Family and friends could only be effective in helping us when they know what's the help we need in a situation like this.
So it causes us really to be vulnerable to people that we may not even be trusting of.
Well, it depends on how far you want them to help you.
Okay.
You taking my car and getting my car washed is no big deal. I don't have to trust you, but you come in and helping me do my laundry, that's a different level of trust than washing my car. See what I'm saying?
Okay.
So different people at different level. But
so you should know where
you
certain
already know.
Yeah.
You already know
Yeah.
where other people are in your life,
in your
terms
life,
of
that
your
you give them
relationship
certain,
with them.
No, the reason I'm asking is that I think we are like a communal people as Africans.
Yes.
That sometimes boundaries are blurred.
Yes.
In that I feel like I can have this access because you're my brother, you're a fellow, So sometimes those boundaries are difficult to set because of this our makeup and expectations.
And that's excuse me, that's being, the continent is a collectivist society, okay? So everybody's intertwined with everybody. That's when you go to Europe and you go to the North American stuff, it's an individualistic society. You do your own thing, I do my own thing, and I leave you alone, you leave me alone, right? Over here it's different because it's intertwined. It's family, it's friends, it's everybody. But at times it's difficult. But again, it's difficult for you because you don't know how to set the boundaries for what you're going to allow people to do for you. Because you are so concerned about offending other people that you rather be offended than to offend someone. Okay? So it's about being able to say, I appreciate you wanting to do that, but I don't need that right now. And the person says, oh, what's wrong with you? You think you're better than us? And no, that's not what it is. It's that I don't need that right now. And to say that in a way that you're not meaning to make anybody feel bad or treat them badly. It's just this is
You're just explaining your reality.
But that's a hard thing to say in a collectivist society because we feel obligated to everybody because we're like this and we don't know how to set healthy boundaries.
Yeah, sure. But I also still feel like even with with just going back to your response, I feel like in terms of owning how you feel, you know, and where you find yourself, and I mean generally, we have friends, we have families, and by friends in people that we have acquired in our journey of life, and family it's people that we were born with. But I feel like we kind of know with our interactions with people what kind of things should we, what kind of, the as you have spoken about, the level of
Trust,
vulnerability
access,
and access.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
we know that with this person, with my relationship with them, this is how far I can allow.
Yeah.
And with other people it will differ.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean I feel like though even we exist within a collective society, even in a collective society, we don't tell everything to everyone.
Right.
I feel like we still have to be honest in terms of where we find ourselves, and
Yeah.
and in terms of people wanting to help, how far
We allow them to help.
we
Yeah.
allow them to help, and obviously we assess different things.
Yeah.
We will see their emotional maturity. Will they be able to even understand when I ask for this kind of
Yes.
help,
Right.
or will they try to put me in court and ask me how this, how that, how
Yeah,
this, how
yeah,
that,
yeah.
you know, and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's the
Yeah.
that's a very good good point. Yeah. And then we are almost closing with our Q&As as
Okay.
I'm looking at this this list here. So suppose you are this particular couple going through this, maybe you've been through it longer.
Okay.
Kind of. How do you help or walk alongside other couples who are in a space that where you find yourself?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I live by a motto that says I look at the things that were once stumbling blocks in my life and I turn them into stepping stone. But for them to become stepping stone, I have to find the healing I need. I have to do the work that's necessary,
Okay.
so that now, when I say stepping stone, I can use it for others to help others on the journey.
Yeah. Okay.
But back to my foundational thing, we all don't experience it the same. But my journey through this process and working and finding the healing that I could be around someone, I could be around kids, I can talk to people about it, and that it doesn't create the sense of loss or incompleteness we talked about last week, you know. But I am okay with that.
Yeah.
Then I am able to come alongside others who are struggling there, you know, and be there with them, not tell them become like me, but create that safe space where they can be vulnerable, where they can really talk about, you know, just what's going on, what they're feeling, exactly how they're feeling. You know, some people, they're Christians and they're disappointed that they can't have children and they're mad at God, but they can't say that.
Yeah.
You know, they can't say, they don't have a safe space to say that, you know, to say,
Sure.
you know, right now I'm so angry at God, as if you're going to go to hell for that or something, or the people don't. So you want to be able to create the safe space where this person or this couple
Yeah.
could feel it's okay to talk honestly and deeply about what they're going through right now, and not feel judged, but feel compassion, feel grace. All of us know very well, and those of you listening, when life hits you so hard and the emotions take over, all your ability to be rational checks out on you.
Sure.
You can't handle life. You're helpless. You know. So I say the way you can help is having been on this journey, and we said last week, you're never complete and perfect and say I'm a winner at this. Let me show you how to win. But how to walk alongside people is to create a safe space, to be non-judgmental, you know, let people be able to freely express themselves however they choose to, and thirdly, try not to make them deal with it the way you dealt with it.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
create the safe space for them to deal with it how they
Not
would
presenting
deal with
yourself as
it. Yeah.
as a navigation map.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and say, well, this is what I did, and this is what I did. You need to do this. You need to do that. No,
Yeah.
This is what I did. What do you need to do?
Yeah.
It's the way to help them to own the space and journey through it.
Sure.
Yeah.
The last one, Rev, I think I don't know if this one you can address it specifically to couple or to the church specifically as the body of Christ. You know, when you are Christians, most of the spaces where you find yourself is church events and all of those stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking of the other time, it was recently, it was Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And Father's Day is coming.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
And how should, I don't know if at this point you will be addressing the couple who is finding themselves in those places where church spaces where we speak of, hey, happy Mother's Day, and buying gifts for people who are mothers and stuff like that, because that's what most churches would do. I don't know if this would be an advice to the church people, to the couple, or what. But how do we deal with that, with the sensitivity and the understanding that it deserves, be it as a church? Look at it from whether it's us as a church who kind of want to celebrate Mother's Day and Father's Day. Should we do it there, or should we not? Should we just go with the flow, or if how do we just become sensitive to the whole thing? So you can either address the church or address the couple who is there when those announcements are being made.
And I think it's both. So I mean, last week was Mother's Day, and last Sunday, and I got to preach, to a church in Durban, and I opened my sermon by saying it's Mother's Day, and I recognize today for some people this is a happy day. For some people this is not a happy day, because your mother might have just died, or you can't have a child, or your child might have just died, or there are a lot of reasons why Mother's Day is not a happy day for a lot of people. So acknowledging that reality, rather than just saying Happy Mother's Day and forgetting that this is not necessarily a happy day for everybody. Or you've been raised by a mother who was abusive, or she abandoned you, so you have still have all this pain and this hurt that you're carrying. So when you say Mother's Day, it's like you don't want to hear that. So again, living in our reality, and to the couple, I firmly believe when a church says Happy Mother's Day, they're not saying that to hurt you. They don't have the awareness to recognize that Mother's Day is not only a happy day, it's also a painful day. It's also a sad day. So helping the church to recognize, that celebrating Mother's Day, yes, because here's the thing, you're asking how should we do it, right? Why should the church stop celebrating Mother's Day because of your pain? Okay? Because you will be hurt, we should stop doing it. No. What I'm saying is the church needs to acknowledge your hurt and create a space for you with your hurt. And don't just ignore that reality. And you in turn have to realize that celebrating mother is a good thing. And you might not be in a space right now to do it, but that doesn't mean others shouldn't get to do it because you can't do it. So we have to find that healthy space where we want to celebrate mothers, but we want to acknowledge it's not necessarily a celebration for other people as well. For what a myriad of reasons that's not happening, and we're good with that. But we can't just shut it down because some people are hurt by it while other people want to celebrate it. But the church just needs to be more sensitive to that, and the couple and the individual who struggles with that as a positive experience also need to be aware they can't let their experience shape everybody else's experience. We have to leave space for it to happen in a healthy way.
No, I think you have said it mouthful. I don't know, you have anything else, Mac?
That's I think I mean on top of this, no, I don't have on top of this, just I think coming to the church side and wanting to support this couple and be with them, is it wise to come to the couple as an individual or even as a couple and say, guys, we are praying for you and we're trusting God with you?
If it's something that they're been sharing and you know that, then that's a healthy thing to do. Or if you as the pastor and you know that, saying that to them, it's good. But are you saying we're saying that on Mother's Day or just saying that in general?
No, just in general.
Yeah, in general. As pastor, you know that, that's okay. Or if it's something they share as a need in the church and they ask to pray, then saying it to them openly is okay. Because this thing is still not something people talk about openly, so you don't want to say, oh, we're praying for you, that you'll get pregnant, and there's like they're mortified now, like they're like, they never come back to church again. But I think it's okay as long as you have the investment in that relationship that you can say that, and it's a safe thing to say.
Okay. Wow. We were doing a Q&A, responding to some of the questions that were sent to us. We will do the same as well next week. We have some engagements from the U pluggers in terms of dealing with this whole subject. So Rev, thank you very much for coming through and throwing in those nuggets, those words of wisdom. We don't know what's your experience out there. If you want to share with us your experience, we can still keep it confidential and not reveal the names and stuff. But if you want to contribute as far as this subject is concerned, whether by sharing your own experience or by coming here, or whichever way, or by having questions that you think they need to be responded to, please feel free to send those questions. We would like to engage. The whole purpose is that we will know better as the Christian community, and when we know better, we relate better with people and we ask better questions. So that's why we want to understand this whole subject. We become good stewards of words and of time, and we know how to pray for one another as the body of Christ. So thank you very much for tuning in. Please invite other people who to rally in and engage our content. But also, if you have not subscribe, turn on your post notification so that when we upload, you will be notified. So that's it from the three of us. Remain plugged.
Ciao.
Ciao.